Hello team and welcome back. This is Chris McCoy Sr., co-founder of Team Real again. Now that we've went over the dime calculator video, which you saw before this, now we're going to show you the flow of how it works when you're about to not only calculate everything about what the customer or the client needs for their insurable needs, but also how to use one of our carriers, Anico, as a provider. Anico is really great for me, in my opinion, for term policies. Keep in mind that terms are temporary policies. All right, they could last from year to year, but the premium goes up, or they can do a 10-year, 15-year, or 30-year with the carrier of Anico, which I will show you shortly. All right, so once we've done the dime calculator, the next thing we want to do is make sure that you get a piece of paper and you are writing this stuff down. Okay, don't try to do everything by memory, because once again, we're dealing with life insurance. We are dealing with elements that will help protect a person's livelihood and their family. Just in case if something were to happen to them, their loved ones will be taken care of. All right, so for example, let's just do a dime calculator for a 41-year-old male, healthy male. One of the questions that you want to ask, and this is just for quick quotes, okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to provide a quick quote for your client. You usually want to ask them, hey, are you a smoker? Okay, if they're a non-smoker, then just put in the notes, non-smoker, or if they smoker, just put in smoker. All right. So the first D is how much debt they are in. Remember, you got to ask them this type of questions. Do they have any type of outstanding loans? What student loans, car loans? Don't use mortgage, okay, because we're gonna put that in the M. Remember, and once you find out whatever that figure is, that's where you put it into your notes. So let's just say, let's just put 15,000. Okay. And their income, what you want to do is you can, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, hey, by chance, do you know how much you made last year? And they could be saying like, well, I made about, $35,000 last year. So you want to go ahead and put that in as a memory. Okay. However, what you want to also do is, and this is what I do, is I also ask them, like, if they have children, what's the age of the youngest child? And if the age of the youngest child, let's just say for that individual, the youngest child is 10 years old, then you want to take their annual income and times it by 8. So by the time you get to 18, that's the figure that you're looking for. All right. So let's just do $30,000 times 8. That's about $240,000. So you want to go ahead and put that right there. The next one is if it's a mortgage. If they live in an apartment or they don't have a mortgage or they renting, you can leave that at 0. But if they do have a mortgage, you just put in how much they have left on to pay on that mortgage. The next thing you're going to do is for education. Okay. The next thing you want to do is get past the education part. If they have a child, it's usually about $100,000 per child. Okay, so let's just say this person have 2 children, so we'll just put $200,000. They have 4 children, it's $400,000, etc., etc. All right. Now that you've done that, you're going to add everything up, okay, to find out what their true insurable needs are. So we're going to put 15,000 plus 240,000 plus 115 plus 200. Okay, so that's about $570,000. I usually try to round it off like in fives, so I'll just let the client know, okay, we're just going ahead and round it up to $575,000. Now they may be ooh and ahhing about this or what have you, because when people start saying these big numbers, okay, I've seen policies over $1 million. Okay, my latest client, they was $25,000 short than $1 million. Okay. But hey, don't fret, because remember, the term policies are very outstanding. They're like a blanket of security, okay, and they're very cost efficient, believe it or not. All right, so now we had a dime of a 41-year-old male, non-smoker, and we put in all the numbers and the figures right there. So they need at least about $575,000 client. The next thing you want to do is you go into your back office and you click on new business, and then you go to your Anico portal. All right. Once you go to your Anico portal, keep in mind this for the videos. This is for people who are licensed and appointed. Okay, licensed and appointed, meaning that you have your license and you are appointed with a carrier with your very own unique code. All right. So once again, in the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you how to perform a quick quote. All right. And then what we'll do is we'll double back and then show you how to go through the entire process. All right. Well, actually, I'm not going to go through the entire process because it's really self-explanatory. All right, because it's step by step by step by step. It's a lot of questions there that you're going to have to engage in your client, but that's why I decided, I may not go through everything, run it through all through because it's very, self-explanatory. So this is how your American National back office website is going to look like. And anything when you're doing quotes, the quotes or your presentation is always going to be an illustration. Okay, so for American National, you're going to go to where it says Expert Illustrator. What I love about this is that everything is online. Okay, everything that you need for your client is strictly online. It's a very simple task. So the next thing you want to do is once you get to this part right here, and I may have some people's information, so I'm definitely going to be blurring some of this stuff out because my clients might be showing once this gets up and going. So stand by. Okay, it's going to show your information right here. To the upper right, it's going to have your name and your name ID. So the first thing you want to do is go to where it says Create Illustration. So once you go to Create Illustration, it's going to give you two options. Create new client or choose existing client. So obviously we're going to be creating new client. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and put in their information right there. So let's just say we want to go ahead and name this person Team Real. All right, and date of birth is, let's do April Fools and change it to, okay, 1978. So this person is 41 years of age, and click on mail. You don't worry about the cell phone and email and all the other stuff. You're just doing a quick illustration. All right, then you're going to click on next. All right, now when you click on next, what's going to happen is that this is going to automatically generate another dialog box for you to do. So depending on the state that you're in, remember you want to match it to the state of the sale. Okay, so if you're in Maryland, you're going to choose Maryland. If you're in Michigan, you're going to choose Michigan. Okay, if you happen to be in Illinois and that person is in Illinois but they're from Florida, you're going to put Florida because that's where they reside in. All right, the plan type is going to be term life insurance. All right, then once you go to term life insurance, it's going to have Anico signature term. All right, so that's going to be the only one you're able to select. All right, so you're just going to go ahead and click on create. And then it's going to give you some policy details information that you could put in. Now this is where you can actually go into pick out which one. Okay, so preferred, nicotine, non-user, standard. Okay, usually you could ask the question if a person like, hey, are you a smoker, and you can pretty much get feels. Most of the time it's going to be probably people you already know. All right, so you can pretty see if they're if they look like they take care of themselves, they're not really sickly or anything like that. So it's usually, prefer nicotine non-user if they don't smoke. Okay, but if they smoke, obviously you're going to choose user. Okay, so now you have the term periods. You have the signature term ART, which is annual renewable term. This is pretty much going to be the cheapest of all policies, but however, each year the premium is going to go up. So I rarely select this. Only time I probably will select this if the person needs something, just to put their foot in the door, what have you. All right, but most likely, typically in my strategy, usually I'll choose the 10-year term because then I'll follow up with that client with an IUL, something that's more permanent. So for structure purposes only, we're gonna go ahead and use Anico signature term for 10 years. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pick that in there. And when we put it in here, you can able to add certain riders. All right. So, you have only three choices on here. And most likely, what's so cool, and this is what I like about American National, because the accelerated death benefit is already included. Okay. So, so when a person has an accelerated death benefit, if that person or that client, you can explain to them, where Mr. Team Real, this policy comes with the accelerated death benefit attached to it, which means that if you end up, becoming terminally ill, critical or chronic, then you'll have access to that. What did we quote them? They have access to that $575,000 up to 90%, so they can pay off the bills, and use it for also to take care of their family, et cetera, et cetera. There are stipulations that goes along with that, but you can definitely do that as well. Also, there's a disability premium waiver, which means if that person is very ill, or again in a bad accident or what have you, and they're just unable to work, they're unable to do at least 2 out of 4, I believe, daily activities, which means they can't, clothe themselves, they can't bathe themselves, they can't, feed themselves, almost 2 out of those 4 type of things, then they'll just waive the premium altogether. Now, keep in mind that when you start checking these, of course, the price is going to go up much higher. All right. And children term riders, you can get that. So if they have children, they can add additional, 10,000 to it, 3,000 to it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. But usually, I mean, my strategy for people with kids, I usually just put them on the IUL policy, versus a term rider, because you're only going to get so much. And the reason I like using the IUL policy for children is because now, not only that, we can get them protected with a death benefit, plus we can get them some cash, value growing. So by the time they get into the young adult years, they'll have some money that can actually pay themselves off with a great policy, especially, if they're college students. If a college student has enough, if they get like $7,200 per year, that's an extra $600 a month that they can actually pay themselves, once they're in school. And college students, a college student, an extra $600 on top of course, they get the little odd end jobs around the, around their university, what have you. That's, they're balling in their case. All right. So, I usually just leave that blank, but I usually make sure I explain the accelerated death benefit. This is a great benefit for people, and I love how it's automatically attached to this policy. So, we're going to go right back to policy details. And when you go back to policy details, you want to click on the button where it says quick calculation. This is going to give that person a quote. All right. So once once they do the quote or what have you, this is going to show them exactly, I'm missing something. I think I messed up on something. Give me one second. I forgot to change this. I don't need $250,000. I need 570. Important. Make sure that you put their assurable need on there. All right. And also on the mode, make sure you are selecting. Most people will be like to pay monthly. Okay. And you can ask them, would you like to pay your bill monthly or annually? And you'll be able to tell them what how it looks like once you click the quick calculator. All right. So you go ahead and click the quick calculator, and then voila. Okay. So the ART, the annual renewable terminal policy, is $19.59, but each year it's going to go up, and then the next year it's going to go up, and the next year is going to go up, and then the next year is going to go up till you could go past $30. That's why I usually start off with this, because this person, like, hey, your bill for a $575,000 policy, your bill is only $30 a month. Okay, and that'd be $30 a month for the next 10 years or so. So they do have a choice. You could tell them, hey, you could pay it quarterly, you could pay it semi-annually, or just knock it all out in a year with annually. Okay, and then you can also tell them, hey, if you want to choose the 15 year, it could be $37.97, 20 year, $48.41, 30 year. But again, I mean, these are options. But once again, my strategy is usually I get them in a comfortable, policy for term for 10 years. All right, so that means when they're 51 years old, what have you, they'll be able to get another policy for another 10 years or whatnot. But I'd rather, supplement it with a IUL, so something they have permanent. So by the time they are, 51 years of age, they got some good money, saved up, that they can use for income, which I'll show you which I will show you in another video. All right, so that will be the quote, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, like, hey, for $575,000 in coverage, it's $30. Isn't that cheap? Back in the day, forgive my dog sneezing. Back in the day, if a person don't know any better, they didn't know life insurance. They were looking at that, oh my God, I may have to pay almost $200 a month, to cover that. No, look at that, $30. Okay, $30. All right, and this is for a 41-year-old. Imagine if a person was in their 30s or their 20s, it'll be a lot cheaper than this. Okay, I seen policies, like I said, I have a client who has almost close to $1 million and paying less than $30. All right, because it's always due to attain age, and plus the gender. There's a lot of other stuff that factors in with that. And you guys should know that, or will know that, once you go through your pre-licensing, your training, your studying of becoming a full-fledged licensed life insurance agent. All right, so you go ahead and give them that quote. All right, you go ahead and give them that quote right there. And then the next thing you do, if they agree to it or what have you, you want to save it. All right, so you want to go ahead and click on action and click on preview illustration. All right, once you click on action and preview illustration, then it's what the system is going to do is it's going to give you a PDF form of the entire illustration. You're going to need this. All right, now you don't have to submit this with Anico, because Anico, you don't need to submit illustrations with Anico, but you do need to submit this when you're going through your Firelight, which I will show you in another video. All right, so all right, give me a second, stand by. Okay, now this is how an illustration looks like from American National. Okay, so this is your illustration. It's going to have it printed out in a nice little letterhead, designed for, the client's name, presented by you in your office. Okay, and it's just to let the customer know a little bit about the company or what have you. All right, and then you just scroll on down and making sure everything is right and tight. Okay, term life insurance, death benefit is $575,000, and this is how much they'll be paying per month. Okay, make sure you are taking note of this. All right, and gives you everything along with this. Now, right here, make sure you also see here how PHP pays us. You guys should know how the compensation plan works by now. And also, if you're going through Team PHP University, okay, PHP University, you should know how we get paid. All right, so this is about $360 in premium. That is your points. Okay, it's points that promote you and it's points that pay you. All right, so you're going to need this when you're going through Firelight, because they're going to ask you how much points generated from this particular sale. So remember, this is a 10-year. Okay, this is a 10-year, so it's 360 points just for this sale. Okay, and then what they do is, you times that by how much the company pays PHP, and then whatever your rank, if you're a trainee, you just times that by 30, and that's how much money you get paid for that. All right, so about $100. This doesn't take long at all to do, ladies and gentlemen. It really doesn't. I mean, think about it. You can sign up a family of 4 with this, and you can make it easily almost close to $400. All right, just off of with a family of 4. Okay, this is probably like one of the easiest businesses I've ever done. Of course, after I got all the training and license and everything out the way, this is probably the simplest thing I've ever done. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to do is every time you come to an illustration, you definitely want to go ahead and save it. All right. So we got to go ahead and save this bad boy for instructional purposes only, because we are going to need this later on. All right. So I want to go ahead and let's see. Let me go to desktop, and then we at PHP, and I'm going to call this training illustration, training Anico illustration, illust. All right. So save it at that. All right. Now, now that you have your illustration done, the next thing you want to do is get very detailed information from your client. Okay, so let's see, is this it? Yes. So I will have these uploaded on our website. All right. We will have these right here. There's going to be two of them. One's going to be for clients and one's for children. All right. And then you're going to have to ask these questions, okay, from the clients. Okay, we have to get real personal with them. All right, what's their residence? What's their employer? What's the name of their employer? What's the address? How many years you've been there? What's your title? What's your physician's name, address, phone number? You know, date of last visit. What was the reason of the visit? Okay, what was the result of the last visit? Are you a smoker? Who you want your beneficiary to be? You know, blah 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 blah. Who are your parents? Name, age. You know, mother's name, age. Are they still living? Living. If they are deceased, then you know what was the reason of death? Also, what's their banking information. Also, the cool thing is this: with life insurance, the person don't have to pay right then, right there. They can always select the date and time they want the charge their bank account to get charged. Okay, you know, have they committed a felony? Do they have a felony on the record? Did they claim bankruptcy or misdemeanor, etc.? If yes, explain it. Did they have any existing policies, or have they ever had a life insurance? You need to put that on there. Household income, you know, what's their annual income? Most likely they can find that out from their taxes. Okay, so these are the type of questions that you need to ask and get real deep in the nitty gritty with the client. After you have this information, now you're going to go from here, click on home, and then you're going to do a application. Okay. All right, so I maybe need to get out of here. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Create application. I'm sorry, guys. It's getting late, so I'm getting a little brain fog here. So next thing you want to do is go to where it says create an application. Once you go to create application, this is when you're going to put all that information that you took on the client application. And like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is I'm not going to go through all of it because it's very, you know, straightforward. Okay, it's a step-by-step process that you could definitely do. Okay, so now that you click the create application, you're going to come to this screen right here. You want to click on where it says expert app. All right, so you can go ahead and click on that, and then we're going to wait till it load. Okay, and boom, and then what we're going to do is start new case. All right, so you're going to click on start new case, and boom, and then that's one of the files you get here. Okay, so you can go ahead and put in team real. All right, mail description, I believe it was what, 575,000. Okay, state, we're gonna say Illinois. With the product type is term life. Product Anico signature term. And last but not least, we're going to click on next. Then once you click on next, again, like I said, it's very self-explanatory. All the information that you've jotted down, right, you put it all in here. Okay, and then you just follow the steps. And as you can see right here, it's going to come across. If you miss anything or leave anything out, make sure that you check with the client, and the system's going to let you know. Okay, it's going to let you know. Let's see if I could just skip some of this real quick. Primary insurer, you know, does it have what's their height, their weight? You know, do they have a driver license? Click yes, and you put the information in. Product information, you get more in detail. All right. You know, you can select which plan. Okay, I got them the 10-year plan. All right, amount insurance, 575,000. Okay, you click next. The beneficiaries coverage all the way down. And what's cool is that once you get to the bottom, it has the agent report. You put in your information on there. It's real self-explanatory. How long have you known this person? You know, I know about a year and a couple months. Whom the premium is going to be paid by owner of the policy. You know, and they're going to give you some due diligence, questions right here. So make sure you ask that. Just click on next. Like I said, I'm just skipping some of this for instructional purposes only. Got an agent report in you. You just put in your information. Your agent code will be on here that you like. It's automatically going to be pre-populated. So you can just put your information right there. Click no. If you are splitting up the commission, which means that if you have a field trainer, okay, if you have a field trainer or somebody like that that's helping you, then it would be yes. Most likely your field trainer will probably be doing this, and they just get your information out along with that. And validate and lock. This is pretty cool. It's probably not going to show you everything. Yeah, it's going to say fix all validations. But once you finish everything and all these are checked or get a green check mark, you're able to send this. They have like multiple ways you can do it. If you're with a client, you're able to print it out. Of course, if you have printer that has Bluetooth technology, integrated with it, you can print it right on the spot and have them sign it. Or you can have them remote sign it, which means the email will go out there to the email and they'll be clicking on it and they'll be able to sign it from their computer, from their phone, etc., etc. And then once they are finished, you as an agent, you'll get an email saying, hey, Team Real has finished signing their contract. Now we're just waiting on your signature, and then boom, voila, you're done. With this process. All right. So in closing, before I go, just want to show you the last thing you want to do. So once you finish all of this, okay, it's gonna give you the option to print out the application. You don't have to send the application to the client because the client's already gonna have a copy of it because they're gonna receive the email first before you. All right, and then they'll be able to sign it, which means they have a copy of it, and then you will be able to sign it. Then boom, it'll be done with that. But you definitely want to save that applications. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, don't try to do all that. Oh, this is a big no. Don't try to do this on the phone. Don't be trying to do this on like a tablet either. Make sure you have like a laptop, at least a laptop or desktop computer at home, or at least a laptop, because you're gonna have to save a whole bunch of files, ladies and gentlemen. So don't be trying to do this on the phone, and you can only do so much with these mobile devices. All right. So once you finish with this, you got one last step to do, and that's go to your PHP back office and go to Firelight. All right, so once you go back to your Firelight right here, you're going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, so you're going to come to Firelight, and it's going to have your options to go ahead and do this. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and start a new application. All right, so you're going to go ahead and click on that, and then it's going to have a pop-up new window is going to come up, and it's going to give you the options. Now, the Firelight is a program that PHP uses. This is almost like a quality control type of program. Okay, so before anything hits the head office or anything heads out to the carriers, this is almost like the last line of defense, if you will, just to make sure everything is right and tight. So when it says selected jurisdiction, again, it's just like the application, or the illustration, or your quote. You're going to select where the customer is resides in. Okay, so in this case we're going to choose Illinois, but if you're Michigan, choose Michigan. If you're in Louisiana, choose Louisiana, blah blah blah. All right, then you want to go to where it says new business, PHP agency new business. You can go ahead and click on that, and then you can go ahead and go to where it says create to proceed. Now, once you click on create to proceed, then you're going to have to do things in this particular fashion. Okay, you're going to put in the customer or the client, hyphenated. Then you're going to put in, I believe, the product. Give me a second. I got to go back to my notes. Oh, no, the carrier name, which is Anico. Okay. Then the type of product will be, term 10-year. All right. And then you put our MD name, and you just put in Sapala. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and create. Then once we create, it's going to have an application that's going to pop up for you guys to fill out. And once again, give me a standby. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. All right, estimated points awarded. Remember, you can find that out in your illustration. Okay, remember, it's always going to be in your illustration. If you haven't written it down, or if you forgot to write it down, just go back to your illustration. All right, and then you look at how much the premium will be for that year. So it's 360. Okay, it's always going to be like over here where it says guaranteed premium overlay. So for 1 year, it'll be about 360. All right, so that's what you're going to put in right there, 360. Okay, now these three right here. Okay, now if there's a field agent, okay, if it's field training, all right, it's going to be with a CFT. All right, that's when, see, if you're with a CFT and they have helped you get fast started or whatnot, and if you're not licensed yet, you could get the points. You're not going to get paid because they can't. That's against the law. We can't pay people who are not licensed. Okay. However, the training points, you would get 100% of that training points that goes towards your promotion. All right. Now, if you are doing it for a rep, okay, then we will put PHP associate. Then that's going to be like a 50-50 split. All right. So if it's a PHP associate, which means 9 out of 10 times they're going to be licensed. Okay. If the person is licensed, then you guys are going to split the points. So that 360, it's going to be, you're going to split it 180 to 180. All right. But if you know what you're doing, et cetera, then it'll be personally generated. Okay. This is for your own sale. All right. If you know exactly what you need, what you're doing, you're going to do it for your own sale. So personally generated is for your own sale. Field training is for you and your CFT. All right. If you're not licensed, you'll get 100% of the training points, but you won't get the commission. The CFT will get the commission. But if you are a PHP associate and you are licensed, then you in the CFT, or you in the rep, because they don't have to be a CFT. Like, for example, if I help you close a deal, in Louisiana or whatnot, then we're going to split it 50-50. All right. Or somebody would say, hey, Chris, hey, I need help in doing this. I'm not too sure, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll go ahead and split it 50-50. And that's when you will select PHP associate. All right. And as you filling out and this is, the rest of the stuff is real self-explanatory. It's almost doing the same thing twice. All right. It's going to ask you for the payer information, if other than proposed insured. Everything's auto-populated. And you click on these other arrows, this next arrow right here, to move to the next page. And, is it a life policy? Is it annuity? Is it original? You want to do individual and original. Okay. What's the face amount? $575. Is this a non-medical or medical? This right here, you'll know this by the time you're on the application. Okay. When you're on the application of your carrier, you'll know. Oh, did I skip? I think I skipped one. Yeah. When you're on the application, it'll let you know through one of these questions that if that person needs to have a medical person come out and have them pee in a cup or draw some blood. But most cases they were like, nah, this person don't need that. All right. So you'll know if that's a yes or no. Now let me go back. Let's see, the case manager. I always put pick Elizabeth. These are people who are actually in a corporate, a PHP corporate. You put your marketing director will be Sheena and Matt Sapala. And this is what I mean about, if you're splitting. Okay, so if there's a writing agent right there, if it's split, it's like, yeah, well, I'm splitting with, another rep. So it'll be like 50-50. And then they'll write the type of rep on here. Or, would it be, 30 or 25, 25, 25, or 75 plus 25, 25, if there are three agents involved into that one deal. All right. So, and after that, you just click the right arrow for next. And then it's going to say one more step. Please upload the application and the illustration. This is what you have saved. Remember, we saved the illustration earlier. All right. All right. We saved the illustration earlier. All right. This is it. Okay. So, you're going to have to upload this. All right. And then you're going to upload the application when it's all done. Also, please note, because I did this and I was going crazy. I was growing hair because you guys know me, I'm bald. So I was growing hair because I'm like, why is this not going through? I was at 99% and I had no idea what was going on, why I couldn't move over or why I wasn't able to click on continue. It's because, when I clicked on other actions and I click on documents, this is real tricky right here because it's going to ask you for the illustration and application, but you want to make sure you pick require illustration and require application. Okay, I only did the illustration. I was trying to find out what the heck is going on. So make sure you click require illustration, require application. All right, then once you do that, this will be highlighted. You'll be able to click on continue, and then boom, your client has been submitted for review from MSM Base Shop. So they'll be doing quality control on your clients and on your paperwork, on your contracts. And then next thing you know, you check your PHP app or your back office, and boom, you got some points awarded to you. All right. So hopefully this has helped you guys on the onboarding. Okay. And let's see, in the next video, I'll be going over how to do a IUL, okay, under our carrier NLG Group. Okay, I like these guys because they got some very outstanding rates for their IULs. All right, so until next time, I'll see you on the next video where we discuss how to do a IUL illustration and also app submission. Bye bye for now.